Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Ingram Jones, and we're back after yesterday or early hours this morning. Andre Ward's masterclass against Alexander Brand. A lot of people didn't see it as much of a fight, a mismatch almost. Understandable, no problems with that. But now the big fight is on. Andre Ward versus Kovalev. We are back with the big boys. We have heavyweight action, and we have a heavyweight in the room. All the way from Ireland. Well, I can't say all the way from Ireland. Just down the road from me, actually. We have Niall Kennedy in the room. Niall, how are you?
Good, Ingram. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you so much for talking to Bayloric TV. We finally get to have a further interviews after our last interview we did.
Yeah. There's no spike in this one, unfortunately. Though.
No spike in this one. No, it's not Spike anymore. It's considered. He calls himself now Irish.
Yeah, he could be. That man could be the mayor of Cork. He's ridiculous.
Yes, he has a big personality. So it's all about you tonight or today. Let's talk. For those people who don't know who Niall Kennedy is, just who you are.
Yeah, I'm an Irish heavyweight. I'm a 32-year-old from Gorey in County Wexford. And I'm boxed now with Pascal Collins' Celtic Warrior Gym at the minute. And currently it's going well. I'm five fights, 5 wins, and 3 KOs. So not so bad.
Okay, let's talk a little bit more about your amateur pedigree, what you did as an amateur, because people will probably want to know what you did as an amateur.
Yeah. I was I suppose I've been boxing since I was 7 and all the way up along through schoolboys and youth and juvenile level. But then I gave it up when I was 15 for a couple of years and came back to it then at 20 and then boxed all the way. I won an intermediate title in 2007 and then boxed senior every year up till 2015. So I would have been, I suppose, since 2013, 2012 and 13, I'd have been competing in the semi-finals of the elite championships every year, and I got to a final in 2013 and 2015 against Dean Gardner and against Sean in 2013, Sean Turner. So, and lost a couple of semi-finals to Dean and to Con Sheen as well. So, been boxing at the highest level in Ireland for the past number of years.
Okay, so those experiences as an amateur, tell me what you think of your career.
I don't know. I suppose that at that level, when you're boxing at that level at amateur and you're only boxing the best in the country, regularly, it's going to improve you as well. And I was lucky I got brought in onto the high performance for 2 years and saw the level of training and the effort the boys put in. So that's helped me from that side of it. But no, it was good. Like, amateur and pro boxing are two different sides of the dice, unfortunately. So.
Right. Okay, so let's talk about your setup now as you turn in pro. What was the decision that made you turn pro?
I'd lost to Dean Gardner in 2015. So he was in pole position to go to all the Olympic qualifiers, and I was 30, so I decided there was no point in waiting around. And to give it was either pack it in or give the professional ranks a shot. And I'd done a lot of sparring in the Celtic Warriors, so I text Pascal, to be honest with you, and I asked him if he'd be interested, and he was happy enough to take me on. So that was a massive compliment as well. Like, that a man of that caliber wanted to take me on, so that was the reason, I suppose.
Okay, so what is Pascal Collins like as a trainer for you? What does he do? What is it special for you that you've got such admiration for him?
Very good. He's very calm and collected in the corner, and he's very good. If you're bad at something, he'll work at it non-stop until you improve on it. Like, if it's your jab, you could spend the day working on your jab, but every day you're tweaking, you're improving little things, and I think he's very good. He's meticulous in his work with you. So.
Okay, in terms of the heavyweight landscape in Ireland, how is that at the moment?
improving. It's not really heavyweight. But professional boxing sort of had disappeared, and then it took back off here about 2 years ago, and then we had that unfortunate incident, and it's up and down, but now it's starting to pick back up again. I think there's a couple of shows booked for Dublin this year, so it's picking up. The heavyweight scene, there's only 3 of us active currently at the minute. That's that 2 of my former amateur colleagues, but Sean Turner I think he's 7-0, and Consheen has only been very unlucky with visa and stuff like that, but he's had 1 fight and he's 1 win, so I think he's after signing with the Furies now, so
okay.
I'd expect big things from Connie now this year and to push on. He's gifted, he's a good fella. Like.
In terms of your connections with the UK, have you done any sparring over in the UK and stuff, or has it just been specifically Ireland and stateside? It's
been Ireland and stateside fighting really more than anything. But I went over to Steve Collins, and he looked after me there. I think it was either February or March of this year. It was before not the last fight, but the fight before that in America, and I sparred with Dominic Akinlade, is it?
Akinlade, he fought last night. He won on points, the Southern Area Champion.
Yeah, he's Southern Area Champion, yeah. So I sparred with him and got on very well. And lovely fella and a nice fella. So.
Okay, so let's talk about the heavyweight landscape for you in terms of like how much you know about Sean Turner's career now, where he's going. I know he's had a little bit of fracas between him and Jason Gavin. There's been a lot of back and forth with that.
Yeah, I don't know. That seems 50-50. The both of them have a genuine dislike for him. Now, it's a fight that Sean wins easily, in my opinion. But that I don't know. I'm not going to disrespect Jason Gavin. I've never shared the ring with him.
Yeah.
I don't know a whole lot about him. He's come over, and I don't think he's given himself the greatest reputation in relation to the way he's boxed. Like he's jumped around a little bit. But then until you shared the ring with someone like Anthony Joshua, I could jump around a bit. I don't know. Like I doubt it. I'd rather be carried out on me back than jump around and do what he done. But so I don't know. He's entertaining, I suppose. He's probably a promoter's dream, but he wouldn't be my cup of tea. I could only see one winner in relation to that fight. Anyway.
The Furies weren't very impressive with me. They said he had very nice teeth and nice chest, but wasn't really up to it when it came to boxing.
No, I think he sparred. I think he was over sparring with the Furies. I'm not sure now.
Yes, was.
Yeah, like I said, I know very little about the man, bar what you see on social media or his couple of little delves into English boxing.
Right, let's talk about America. It seems a lot of Irish fighters seem to go to America and fight. Why is that the case? You go and fight in America a lot.
There's a massive Irish follow-on in America for boxing, and if you look back at it recently, like even Andy Lee paved the way there in the most recent times. He has a massive fun, and I don't know. There's just where I'm based out in Boston with Murphy's Boxing. There's a huge Irish, I don't know, community, so they do very well out of it, I suppose, for Murphy. Well, Ken Casey is the lead singer in Dropkick Murphy, isn't it? Sort of an Irish punk band, so Irish-American punk band, and I think he has a massive Irish following over there because he's a great man. He does serious work for charity and stuff like so. The connection is just I've been very lucky in fairness.
So when you go to Boston, you train sparring, a lot of quality sparring, or is it bits and bobs when you're over in America?
See, I'm unfortunate in the sense that I've only ever had the opportunity to go over literally the day before the weigh-in, box, and then fly home with work. So.
Wow.
I haven't had the chance to spar over there yet now. But I've been lucky. We trained in Peter Welch's gym. It's a great setup. It's lovely, and we trained in Mike Stanton's gym there last time out in just a little bit outside of Boston. It was a brilliant setup as well. Thanks very much to the lads for letting us in.
Okay.
Fantastic gyms in Boston. Like, you know, it's a pity I haven't had longer time out there because there'd be great sparring out there.
So, okay, if someone was going to talk about Niall Kennedy and say, what sort of style does he have? What sort of style is you? What's your constitution? What's your foundation? What's your thoughts about boxing in your own style?
Well, hit not be hit is important in my opinion, and I think my style is sort of like that. I'm an evasive heavyweight. I've good footwork. I think I've quick hands. My power is improving every time as well. My record is starting to show. So yeah, I have a little bit of everything, and I think you need what I need to do on a personal level is improve the bits and bobs of every aspect and try and keep growing on it. Like I would hope this time next year I will be 50% better than I am at the minute, even. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah. Let's talk about that last fight you had, because I know it was a big thing in the newspapers in Ireland. We're talking about it was a tough examination for your career so far. Tell me more about the opponent.
Yeah, Willie Palms was his name. To be honest, I checked him on BoxRec and looked for him on YouTube, and the last fight on YouTube was 2002, so it was a long time ago.
Right.
Um, he's very capable on that footage. He was very capable, very good boxer. Done everything sort of well, but I felt I'd done everything better. Yeah, good, but he'd been out of the ring since 2011, I think. And I texted the matchmaker from Murphy's Boxing and I said, what's the story more or less with this? Like, what have I to expect? And he just replied to me. He said, Niall, he said, this man hasn't boxed since 2011, but he's a professional sparring partner. He's been in high level sparring camps. So, that, to be honest with you, this man is very durable and you need to be on your A game. So, at least I knew where I stood then, because footage wise, there was very little on him. His record, I think he was in 2007, he was American national amateur champion and he turned pro rather than go for the Olympics. I'm not sure of the reason why. And
Right.
he, no, in 2000 or 1997, sorry, he's about 40 years of age, this man was. And he turned pro. He went, he took off at a fantastic rate over there. He went, I think he was 10-0. And he won his first 10 bouts and was a massive prospect, and then things just started to lose fights. So I think he was making more money out being a sparring partner than fighting as such. So he went that route.
So when you were doing your research on the fighter, and then you got the call from the matchmaker, yourself and the matchmaker, does the matchmaker just make the fights and then you just go and fight, or do you have an input in that, or how does that work for your career?
No, I had no input. I tell you, I try to test myself every time, and levels, and even with sparring and with everything. If I'm not testing myself, I'm staying still more or less. Like, but the matchmaker with Murphy's Boxing is Mark Baz. He's a gentleman, and he actually worked my corner that night. So I'd have a little bit of a relationship with him, and when he said to me, he's a very knowledgeable man about boxing, and when he said to me that, Niall, you'll have to be on your A game, and this is a very competitive fight, I knew well enough that I need to prepare well. Like.
So the result?
Yeah, the result was a second round TKO. The referee jumped in just as the man was about to get sparked, I think. But
I mean, going in the fight yourself, I mean, they're telling you need to be on your A game. Was there anything you noticed in the first round about him that you thought this is a bit more different, the experience, or?
Well, his size, he was a massive man. He was 6'5" and he was 21.5 stone. And like he walked forward, he's a big frame, like, So my thing, I was fairly confident my hands would be quicker, so was to establish my jab in the first round and get behind it. And the plan, believe it or not, was to sort of outwork him in the early rounds and sort of make the first 2 or 3 rounds, and then if it opened up in the latter rounds coming up to the fifth and sixth round, then to try and put it on him. But I was just lucky. I caught him clean, and it worked out for me. To be honest with you.
So how tall are you, and how much do you weigh?
I'm 6'4", but I'm 6'4" in the morning and 6'3" in the evening. No, yeah, I shrink during the day. So,
okay.
No, I weighed in at 225 pounds, and he weighed in at 299.6 pounds. So I'm about 16 stone 3 or 4 on a normal day.
So when you look at the current crop of heavyweights, you look at Joshua 6'7" or 6'5" or 6'7". You've got Klitschko 6'7". You've got Fury 6'9". Where does your mind fit, man? Those giants.
You're making me feel small.
You're making me. I'm not sure if I can do that, staying at 5'10" and a half. But how does that make you feel in terms of the dimension of the heavyweight division? Because I had this discussion yesterday and was thinking maybe they should install and then a super heavyweight division.
Yeah.
So like if guys coming 220, 225, that should be the limit for heavyweight, and then a super heavyweight division for anyone over 225.
Yeah, I don't know. Look at Mike Tyson, probably the most explosive heavyweight of them all. He wasn't that big, was he, Ian?
No.
You know, everyone, you bring different aspects in with size. Like Anthony Joshua the man is chiseled. He's a superb athlete. But Tyson has turned around and shown that you don't need to be made out of stone. Like Tyson is the #1 heavyweight in the world, and rightly so. He's shown every element to his game. Like Tyson can box, he can switch it, he has power, he has everything. Like, so I don't know, if you improve the aspects you have to your own game, and try and make everything an all round game. Like, you know, the Klitschko had dominated for so long on pure methodical boxing, really good boxing brain, sticking to his jab, and you know, like, but looking back through history, then you can, like, Archie Moore, and like different styles do different things, and I don't know. I think at the minute we're in a fantastic era for boxing, for heavyweight boxing, definitely, anyway. And domestically in England, it's taken off again, you know, and I can see Big David Price having a part to play in that.
Definitely.
Yeah,
I was talking about Pricey last night. I think he stands a very good chance of causing some real upsets with that big right hand of his.
Exactly, and he's been. You know what? There's people who have called him out, and people that shouldn't be calling him out. To be honest with you, he's like David Price was Anthony Joshua 5 years ago, 4 years ago. Do you know? So confidence is a massive thing. Once he gets his confidence back, I'm sure in my opinion, he's probably world level. If not, he's definitely European level, and he's definitely above domestic level at the minute in England.
So why do you think people are not giving him so much stick and kind of like one of the forgotten heavyweight?
I don't know. I really don't know, because listen, he's had 2 bad knockouts. The 2 of them knockouts have been turned around to be drug cheats. But I think he showed that vulnerability. I think he showed it a lot as an amateur, seemingly, as well. But he still has all the tools to be a fantastic man. He's huge in size. He's serious power, like you were saying, in his right hand. He's a very good boxing brain as well. I don't know why he gets so much stick, because he comes across as a genuine nice fella as well. Like, so strange.
The rest of the heavyweight scene in Great Britain, you've got recently Derek, what's the name? Derek Chisora. Dillian Whyte and Dave Allen fought. Did you watch that fight?
No, I was boxing that night, so I missed it, unfortunately.
Okay. How much of boxing do you actually watch in your own division?
I'd watch a lot. Look, I'm a boxing fan first and foremost, and I'm just lucky that it's going well for me at the minute. I'd watch it all, to be honest. I'd watch a good bit of David Allen, watch a good bit of Dillian Whyte. I was there for Spike box Eubank the night that him and Joshua boxed.
Right.
who else then? I've seen Ian Lewis, and I think Ian Lewis is after winning some.
WBO. He's won the WBO China Championship in China. He's going to go and fight for the WBC out there now as well in Japan to unify.
Yeah. So look, Ian Lewis is a powerful man. Different aspects to his game as well. Now I don't know how he'd match up with someone like Joshua, but he's a powerful man, you know. And then we spoke about Dominic Akinlade. Dominic is a very good boxer as well. So, you know, England, you're thriving at the minute. You know, you have a massive, you've loads of promoters like Steffi Bull and who's Frank Buglioni is after signing with Stevie Goodwin, I think. And you know, you've loads of promoters besides Frank Warren and Eddie Ahern that are putting shows on. So
yeah. So in terms of Frank Buglioni, you were obviously there in that camp. What was it, do you think, that he left Dublin and he went back to the UK?
I know Frank didn't want to leave Dublin at the time, and it was a financial reason, to be honest with you. As far as I'm aware, that was just the cost of it, and he was after leaving finished his contract with Frank Warren, so things were sort of up in the air. And I think he was, with the fact that he was stepping up in weight, he was going up to light heavyweight. That he's with Don Charles now, who had worked with Doric and had worked with, does a good bit of work with Ian Lewis and with Dominic Akinlade also. But it was the proximity. He was closer to him, and so it seems to be a good fit. Frank is, you couldn't wish for a man to do any better. Very lucky to have worked beside him, and very lucky to have got to know him. He's an absolute gentleman, and I think I rate Jose Burton, but I think Frank beats him in every aspect as well.
Okay. Do you think there's any possibility that maybe there'll be more Irish fighters, heavyweights, coming over to the UK and do more heavyweights in England?
Hopefully. At the minute, we've only got the three of us active, but Martin Rogan, I believe, is back training, so Martin adds a bit of spice to the division as well. And you know, look, there's four of us. Wouldn't it be great to see us all active and all doing well? Like I think Connie will take off now that he's signed with Fury's. That the lads will get him on Mick Hennessy shows, and you'll see, believe it or not, you'll see within. Sorry.
That's great that he signed with the Furies. That's fantastic news.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, because and I don't know if you've seen much of Connie Sheen. He's a superb boxer, a really good boxer. So
okay,
I wish him. I was talking to him. I met him there recently enough, and he's in fantastic shape. He's very fit and strong looking. So all the best to him, and all the best to Sean as well, and to Martin. Hopefully, we all get active and get busy and have something going on.
On the subject of the Furies, the whole drug allegation with Tyson Fury, what are your thoughts about all of that?
I don't know a whole lot about it. I read that I think they're suing UK anti-doping or something like that.
Yes.
So look, they're very intelligent people. I think people take that for granted as well, but they are. Look at the way they've guided Tyson's path, and look at the way they've guided Huey's path, and the fact that, you know, Huey probably is further up the line than his age would probably have expected, you know, for a heavyweight. But they're guiding them well. They're intelligent people, so if they're willing to fight it, I'd be fairly confident that they know that they're okay.
Joshua versus Fury, like, because that's something that Peter Fury said, we're ready for Anthony Joshua.
Yeah. See, have we seen Anthony Joshua brought to the later rounds with a boxer? Do you know what I mean?
No.
If you remember back to the Olympics, different animal now. Anthony Joshua would stop Anthony Joshua that won the Olympics. But if you remember the Cuban, who was a slick puncher, gave him lots of trouble. Very close fight. Anthony got the decision, fair play to him. He went on and won his medal. But and Huey, like, people forget that Huey was an underage star in amateur boxing as well, and has a really good
Yeah, world youth champion.
World Youth Olympic champion or something, wasn't he? And he's very clever. He boxes very clever. So I don't know. Do you know Dominic Brazil sort of sat in the pocket. He was always going to get stopped. I never really, not being disrespectful to that man, but I never rated him really. Charles Martin, I don't know. Was that another roll over and die job? I'm not sure. Like, I think he got his biggest payday and was happy to collect and go home without getting hurt, to be honest with you. But then, I don't want to seem like I'm disrespecting Anthony Joshua. That man he's Olympic champion. He's world champion now with not that many fights. Like, and if you were to say anything, he's doing everything, and every time he gets into the ring, he seems to be improving. So, but I definitely think Hughie Fury would be a good test. I'm not sure. Would I put Hughie into it yet? I don't know, but you never know. Like, if Hughie's been sick seemingly for the last number of fights he's had, so
that's the thing. That was my concern.
Yeah, so if he's healthy and he's back strong, Peter Fury is clever, like I said, and they obviously see that he will. I think he will beat him anyway. So if they think it, they've saw something in training, or maybe they've sparred that they know that Hughie will outbox him.
Okay. Derek Chisora, that fight would go.
With Anthony?
No, Dillian Whyte and Derek Chisora.
Activity, I think. If Derek got more active,
right?
It could be a different fight. I don't know. There's Dillian Whyte he's a promoter's dream, though, isn't he? He builds fights. I think everyone loves to hate him. So now I don't know the man whatsoever, but he's improving. Also, he's improving every time he boxes at the minute. So I think I like I said, from what I've heard, I haven't watched the fight, but he seemingly boxed against David Allen.
Yes.
And showed that aspect to his game. So that's something that I didn't probably see in the Joshua fight. It was just emotional filled. Do you know what I mean? And,
yes.
And he performed well, and I just think that it got to the stage that Joshua's sheer power and sheer size and just his fitness. Anthony Joshua's a superb athlete. I'd imagine if he took up running, he'd have been an Olympic champion. You know, he's a specimen, for want of a better word.
Absolutely. Dave Allen, he recently took a fight with Dillian Whyte. He had 10 fights as an amateur, his 10th fights as a pro. Would you have taken a fight like that with only 10 fights as an amateur, 10 fights as a pro? Would you have called for that fight, or would you have swerved it?
I definitely wouldn't have swerved it. I've had well over 150 amateur fights at high level, so I definitely wouldn't have swerved it. I'll never swerve a fight as long as I can anyway. But if I was him, I definitely wouldn't have taken. But I don't know though. There's parts of Dillian Whyte that you look at, and he's very, very raw as well. So maybe it was a calculated risk. I know David Allen had been up sparring in Sheffield with Fraser
Clark,
yeah, and Big Joe Joyson. I think he was doing okay. So I don't know. It's a risk. Look, he's on TV. He's boxing on TV. Even though he didn't win, and I think he was well beaten, he's still widening his spectrum. Like, everyone knows about David Allen now, and you don't hear that about many 10-0 pros, like what you said with 10 amateur fights.
Yeah.
You know, so fair play to him. He took a risk. It didn't work out, but I don't think it has really backfired either. You can say the same with Dillian Whyte. He took a risk with Anthony Joshua, and it has worked in his favour.
Deontay Wilder.
Yeah. What do you think?
Well, I'm going to ask you the question.
He's powerful. He seems to be powerful anyway. He's erratic at times, though.
What do you think of his future if he were to fight Alexander Povetkin next?
Povetkin, I think, is the forgotten man of the heavyweight division. Does everything well. Does absolutely everything well. I think Povetkin will give Joshua a massive test and will definitely give Wilder a test. Boxing wise, he'll give Wilder a test. I think this Luis Ortiz is a tricky customer as well.
He's just left. Golden Boy now moved over to Al Heyman, so that could be interesting.
Luis Ortiz?
Yes.
All right, I didn't hear that now, but yeah, that will be interesting. He has to start working quick though, because I think he's 35 or that.
Yeah.
Then saying that 35 is young as a heavyweight now as well, so he's tricky though. He seems to have good power and he's a southpaw, which will help. And you know,
yeah,
they're awkward. Like Deontay Wilder is brash, he's strong, and he's quick. He's very quick hands, but he carries his head very high. I think to be honest with you, at the minute, barring all this crazy stuff going on, Tyson is definitely your number one heavyweight. Like, he does everything better than everyone else, in my opinion.
The Haymaker, David Haye. What about him? Possibly going to go down the WBA route.
Is that Briggs fight not happening now? No.
No, doesn't look so.
All right. Yeah. Well, listen, he's done it before. He's I think he's probably still the best of the English. I think at the minute he's or when I say the best, bar Tyson. Like, he pulled out 2 fights with Tyson, and I think there's a reason for it. But then I think Tyson being so unorthodox, then you just don't know what he's going to do next. Is very hard to prepare for. So I can understand why that fight probably didn't happen. But I think they have a Haye with Derek Chisora, with Dillian White, even with Anthony Joshua, because sometimes he can carry his head that little bit straight. And the fact that he is so powerful, he'll cause trouble again. And
How would the fight between Haye and Joshua go, in your opinion?
At the minute?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd probably side with Haye in that one. At the minute. Just well then, yeah, I don't know. Anthony is improving every time, and like, I think his worst performance was his Dillian White performance, even though it was a brilliant knockout in the end. But I think he was so emotionally drawn into it that he made lots of mistakes. But he's like, the man, just every time you see him into the ring, he seems to improve. But like, it's very hard to know, because David Haye has boxed absolutely no one since his return. So it's hard to judge off that. It'd be nice to see a step up, even. I think an Ian Lewison fight, even, or something like that, would be a step up. A dangerous opponent that can take him out, to see what way he boxes it.
Interesting. I think, the fact that he wouldn't fight Briggs, okay, fine. So he's going to have to fight somebody decent. I know. Would you like to see Haye versus Luis Ortiz?
I think Luis Ortiz beats David Haye. Just his
I
sheer.
think so too.
Yeah, I think his southpaw stance, and Luis Ortiz seems to carry a good wallop as well. But look, it's mad, isn't it? I think I'm contradicting myself for every answer I give you.
No, you're not really. You just got an opinion. Your thoughts. Let's end on this. Klitschko v Fury 2. Your thoughts?
Fury, if this other thing goes away and his camp isn't interrupted, I think, like, if Anthony Joshua had done what Tyson Fury has done, he would have been knighted. Well, he has been knighted, I think, anyway, already. But there's this statue built about the man. The fact that, I'm not saying that it's discrimination. Well, I believe there is a bit of a discrimination in it. Like, Tyson is an Irish traveller.
Yep.
And I think that hasn't helped him in England. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes he says silly things. I think they're definitely not meant. I don't know the man personally, but I spoke to his uncle Peter a couple of times, and I think deep down, he's a very decent man. He's a good family man. His kids and wife look very happy, and I don't think he means any harm. He just probably at times says silly things. But
Yeah.
barring his camp is interrupted, which I think they are trying to do, and I think he's they tried as hard as they could to interrupt his preparations in when he boxed Klitschko the first time. So, what answer can Klitschko give to the problem that Tyson posed the last time? You know what I mean? If Tyson turns up in shape,
The idea is for him to throw more punches and to try and bum rush Tyson. I think that's what the idea is.
But is that naive in the sense that he doesn't read Tyson's power then? And I think from looking at Tyson, I think he's going to be in a lot better shape for this fight. So I think he's I can't see it going any different. I could be wrong because it's very hard to underestimate Vladimir Klitschko because the man has done it. And he's an athlete. He really is. He's another Anthony Joshua of a man. He's a specimen. And he's done it for so long at such a high level.
What do you make of the fact that the date's October the 29th, but we're not hearing anything more about it at the moment?
Yeah, I know.
Should that be?
I don't know. I don't know. I genuinely, it has gone very quiet. I don't know if it will go ahead. Has this anti-doping thing got something to do with that, or is he
No.
at the minute, or is there an inquiry going on? I'm not sure.
There was a ban. The ban's been lifted off him temporarily.
Right. Yeah. So he's back in preparation then, I suppose. But very hard to train when you have something like that hanging over you as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think that it's a witch hunt against Tyson?
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely caused maybe by some of the silly things he said, but genuinely, if he wasn't a traveling man and from the traveling community, he wouldn't be getting half of the hassle he gets.
Carl Frampton got an MBE recently. He got an MBE when Tyson had won the championship of the world by beating Klitschko. He got nothing, but Frampton gets an MBE. That don't make no sense.
You're wrong. He did get something. He got stripped of the IBF title, which was absolutely ridiculous. How they could strip?
You're wrong.
Some of the stuff they've done to him has been ridiculous, but he's a strong man. He keeps taking it, anyway. Absolutely,
you have to be very strong. You're going to give credit to his camp for keeping strong in these difficult times.
Yeah, they've had turmoil and they've been keeping obstacles every time. So the best of luck to them. They're like I said, I've never worked with him, but I know from talking to Sean Turner worked with him for a good while and was close to signing with him. He had nothing but positive things to say. And Connie, like I said, I was talking to not so long ago, and he's over with them now, and he thinks it's a fantastic setup. So best of luck to all of Team Fury. And look, isn't it? If he was American, they'd love him because he's so outlandish and he's so boisterous. But he's just unfortunate that he's an Irish traveller in England, which is the unfortunate thing about it.
Would you advise Fury to leave the UK and maybe move to Ireland? Would that help his career further?
No, the man should do what he's doing. He's doing absolutely nothing wrong. He's the undisputed world champion at the minute. There's no one he is number one in heavyweight boxing. So no, stay doing what he's doing, and hopefully, history has a thing of making heroes out of people that were slated in their own time. So, Ali wasn't loved when he was boxing. He's loved now, and God rest his soul as well. But he wasn't probably appreciated when he should have been appreciated. And we look at Mayweather now; he's definitely not appreciated for what he was. I know you have to take the human aspect of it, that some of the things to do outside, but from a boxing point of view, you have to stand up and say, Tyson Fury poses problems in every aspect. He can switch, he's quick hands, very underestimated power. He's a good chin. You know, he's shown that he can be put to the floor and get back up and just straight back into plan A, like, you know. So I don't know. History will be great. History will be kinder to him than the present. I know that much.
Absolutely. And when can we see you fight again, Niall?
Hopefully September the 17th. I'm hoping for a Massachusetts title in Boston, but we'll wait and see now. I have nothing confirmed, but that date was muted to me, all right. So I'll be hoping for that in an 8-rounder.
Do you know who the opponent will be?
No, I like that. I'm not even sure. I'm not even confirmed on the show, so I'll wait and see. Hopefully I'll get confirmation soon. And I took this week sort of off. I've only trained twice, so I'll do a little bit today as well, and then I'm back into it full steam ahead from tomorrow. So.
And a word about the Irish heavyweights that are taking part in this Olympics.
Yeah, we've no heavyweights in it.
You got no heavyweights?
No. Dean Gardner was very, very, very unlucky not to qualify, and he lost out in the last qualifier. And Darren O'Neill unfortunately lost out as well, didn't qualify at heavyweight. So I think if Dean had qualified, he could have went very close to a medal. I think if he believed enough in himself, he would have medalled, I think. How do you see it going, the Olympics? How do you think?
I haven't watched any of it. I've been turned off because of all the drug scandals and all the stuff. And on that point, the thing about, was it O'Reilly? Is it? Do you know anything about the story about O'Reilly?
Michael, no, I don't. I know he's fighting it, and he's still there at the minute, and I think he's fighting the whole lot of it. So it's a massive shame because he's one of the most naturally gifted boxers I've ever seen. So, and I do believe he'd have medalled. I really do.
Any other Irish hopes in terms of you think that could do really well?
I think Paddy Barnes and Michael Conlon, it'll take something special or a crazy decision, which we've all seen in the Olympics. You know, there can be some crazy decision. That's the only way I can see either of them being beaten. Katie, I've watched 2 fights Katie's lost recently and thought she's won them, so I don't know, but I think Katie will prove everyone wrong and will win it again. So hopefully that'll be 3 gold. I think Brendan Irvine is very, very talented, will go very close. He's had a tough draw though. And Joe Ward on his day beats anyone. But I think Joe Ward and Dela Cruz, I think your man's name is, if the draw hasn't been kind to either of them, I suppose that they meet in the semi-final, which will be the tricky one. That'll be the final in my opinion, because the 2 of them are the best in the world bar each other. So.
Right. Niall Kennedy, thank you so much for talking to Baylor TV. Really appreciate you and your knowledge in boxing, and we look forward to talking to you again soon.
Cheers, Ingram. Take care of yourself.
You take care, champ. All the best.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.